Since 1981, Cambridge-based Food for Free has responded to local hunger by rescuing food that would otherwise go to waste and distributing it to local emergency food programs, including food pantries, youth programs, shelters, and more. As the nation's first food rescue program, Food for Free, a local nonprofit, feeds more than 30,000 people annually in Greater Boston and beyond. This morning we are going to hear about their newest endeavor called the Cambridge Weekend Backpack Program, which addresses the lack of food students from low-income families face when school is not in session. Now, to tell us more, we've invited Alanna Mallon, Food for Free's program director, and also the founder of the Cambridge Weekend Backpack Program. Welcome to Urban Update, Alanna. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we get into the backpack program, just kind of sort of remind everyone about Food for Free, and if you could just kind of tell everyone what that is all about and what your organization does.
Yeah, so Food for Free has been around since 1981. It's the oldest food rescue in the nation. We primarily work on rescuing food and redistributing it to people who need it. So, as you said, food pantries, homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters, low-income after-school programs, and things like that. So we rescue all of this food from grocery stores, mostly produce, and make sure that food pantries, for example, have produce when people come in to shop them.
What do you mean by rescue?
Rescue, so it's a pretty big buzzword, but it means that food that would normally be thrown away as a grocery store, even though it's perfectly good. So it's heads of lettuce or bunches of tomatoes that are still perfectly good, but the newest batch of tomatoes or lettuce has come in, and so they need to get rid of it.
Who participates in Food for Free and who benefits the most?
So it's the recipient. We have over 100 recipient agencies in the Greater Boston area. So it's people who come to food pantries, that go to shelters, that really need the extra food to fill their homes. So like you said, we service about 30,000 people a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, who can donate the food? Is it, I mean, do you have to be a licensed establishment? And what kind of food can be donated?
Yeah, so we work primarily with grocery stores and also the area universities. So they donate their leftover dining hall food every night, so prepared food. So we pick that food up every single day and redistribute it to other agencies who need it.
Okay. Now let's get into the Cambridge Weekend Backpack Program. You started the program. How did that idea come about?
I did. So 4 years ago, I was sitting in my car listening to a story on NPR talking about how kids whose primary source of nutrition was the school cafeteria, and how being away for the winter breaks and for school vacations can be very difficult for them because they're not able to access the amount of food that they need, and that even on weekends it's really difficult, but that there were programs called backpack programs which sent food home with students each and every Friday to make sure that they had enough to eat over the weekend and they could come in Monday mornings ready to learn. And I started thinking, I'm sure that there are kids in Cambridge that could benefit from a program like that. Sure enough, I went to our school principal and she said that there were. So that's where the idea took off from there. I started a pilot program of one school with 15 kids, and now that program is sending food home to close to 500 students and their siblings in the Cambridge Public School Department.
So kids literally bring food home in their backpacks on Fridays and, have something for the weekends.
They do. So we put in 2 lunches, 2 breakfasts, fresh fruit and vegetables and milk, and make sure that they have enough to eat.
Wow. What have you learned that maybe folks might find surprising in this endeavor?
So I think the thing that people find most surprising is that there are hungry kids in every community. It doesn't matter where you live. So in Cambridge, which I think a lot of people think is a very wealthy place to live, over half of our kids are in public housing. Half of our kids are receiving free and reduced lunch. There is a need in Cambridge, just like there is a need in every community.
Wow. Now, I understand the idea to helping families in Cambridge is kind of expanding on other cities in the state, across the state?
Yeah, so since I started this program, I get calls all the time from different people, church groups, school departments, other organizations who have heard about the program, know that there's a need in their own community, and that they want to start something up. So I helped the Somerville Weekend Backpack Program start up. They've got 275 kids in their program. In Salem, Massachusetts, they had a small pilot program also, and I helped them really think about expanding, and now they're in every Salem school.
How do you identify the kids who need this?
So the schools actually do that. So a student support team sits together and figures out who might benefit from the program.
Okay. Now there are three pieces of advice that you give to those who contact you about starting their own backpack program. What are those three pieces of advice?
Yeah, so the first piece of advice is just use your own contacts. If you are a parent, contact your PTA. If you're in a church group, contact the rest of your church. You're going to need help. It may be easy for you to pack up 10 bags of food, but if you're going to expand it beyond that, you're going to need some help.
Okay. And just a quick comment from you. Isn't it, it's really, I guess your thoughts on thinking about the fact that there are so many people who go to bed hungry, so many children, yet so much food is wasted.
Yeah, it's really, that's the crux of what we do here is we really try to make sure that we're getting all of that food that would have gone to waste and making sure that it does get to the children and families that need it.
Do you think there are other, you work with grocery stores and universities, but do you believe that there's a lot more food out there that's being wasted that could be put to good use?
Yes, absolutely. Not every grocery store participates in a rescue program. Restaurants could be a great place for us to go. There's definitely more food out there to get. And universities, if you are in a university and you're not participating right now in a food rescue program, give us a call. We will be happy to work with you.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from families, children who have participated in the program, and the schools as well?
So we actually do a survey every year, and we've gotten great feedback from teachers, from families, just letting us know that this food really helps them over the weekend. I spoke to a principal last week who said, I know that this food is all that's there over the weekend in that home.
And what's the best place to get more information?
So www.foodforfree.org.
Okay,
check us out.
All right, and do you need volunteers?
We always need volunteers, so check us out you can sign up right on the web.
And any parting thoughts that you'd like to leave our viewers with just about the concept of what you're doing?
Yeah, I would have to say that, I was just a mom that heard about the story and started this program. Everybody can do something like this. Whatever it is in your community that you need, it doesn't matter that you're just one person. You can do it.
Okay. Alanna Mallon with the Food for Free and the Cambridge Weekend Backpack Program, which you started. You should be congratulated for that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming in. Okay, well, that's it for this edition of Urban Update. I'm Byron Barnett. For all of us here, have a very happy Easter Sunday, everyone.